It's time for us to dissect a bit of the power of each Akatsuki ninja and think about what makes them so strong. Does it have to do with Pain's first objective? Is it about money, or are they just tough guys? Hey guys, it's time for us to talk about the toughest guys in the Naruto anime, the most badass of all. Let's try to understand why they are so strong, what makes each of them, and why the Akatsuki is so sinister. We know that the Akatsuki originated in two ways, with Yahiko and Nagato in the Village of Rain, and with an idea from Madara after discovering the Uchiha secrets. Even Yahiko's group was already very strong, because they practically had a small army, and Yahiko and Nagato were still the leaders of that army. And let me tell you, if Yahiko had stayed alive so many years later with Konan and Nagato, I'm almost sure he would be as strong as them. Of course, he would be weaker than Nagato. There's no way around it. But Konan is still too strong and almost killed Obito, who had to resort to Izanagi. Obito himself says he had to be more careful with her because she was a founding member of the Akatsuki. And seriously, guys, tell me who Jiraiya trained that didn't become tough? None. From the beginning, the Akatsuki always had very ambitious goals, and power was always its focus, whether Madara's or Yahiko's. Because even if it was peace, they could only make that peace happen if they had the power to dominate their enemies. In Madara's case, it was the entire world, the entire planet with all the countries, and for Yahiko, it was the Village of Rain. But after Yahiko's death, Nagato also aimed to control the world, because this good Akatsuki went into Obito's evil Akatsuki. So, they had to be very strong one way or another. Pain wanted to provide ninja services at a dirt cheap price and earn more and more money to build a gigantic army. For that, they couldn't lose to anyone. They needed to be even stronger than Deidara, Sasori, Kisame, and the others to gather 10 ninjas as strong as them. Because let's face it, one of the steps in the Akatsuki's plan was to collect the Bijus. And there was no way to defeat the Jinchurikis without being tough, very tough. The Bijus are practically walking nuclear weapons that can wipe out any village on their own. The amount of chakra in a Biju is greater than the chakra of hundreds of ninjas, and it doesn't even have to be a background ninja. Kakashi himself says that Naruto, before using the Rasen Shuriken, already had 200 times more chakra than him. This is without considering the Kurama mode, or Sage mode. Oh, but Kakashi doesn't have much chakra anyway. No, my dear pal. Someone who uses the Sharingan and Mangekyo Sharingan as much as Kakashi did has to have a lot of chakra. The Uchihas themselves praise Kakashi for handling the Sharingan so well, just like an Uchiha. The issue is not that he has little chakra, but that the Sharingan consumes a lot, so it seems like he can't stand on his own. So much so that in Boruto, he became much stronger. In the databook itself, Kishimoto states that Akatsuki members are even stronger than the Jinchurikis. This is in general, right? Because when they went after Naruto and Bee, we saw what happened. But we don't need to go that far. Gaara himself wouldn't have been in trouble if he didn't have to do two things. One, which was to reserve part of his chakra to hold Shukaku, and the other, he spent a lot of chakra having to defend the village. So Deidara didn't play fair and still came out with his nose in the air. This is considering that Deidara could explode the Bijus as if it were nothing, turn an entire island upside down, and had an explosion that covered more than 10 kilometers away. Not to mention that he still had the C4, which would kill anyone who breathed it in. If you only need to breathe near Deidara to die, you know the guy is badass. And like Deidara, there were other ninjas who had no problem modifying their entire bodies and going beyond common sense. Sasori destroyed an entire country with a puppet army that feels no pain, no hunger, and has venomous weapons. Kakuzu looked like a video game character. The guy had more than 5 lives in stock and used all 5 nature elements in a way that almost no one else did. Hidan was immortal and had a resistance that even Kakuzu's and other incredibly strong ninjas' attacks couldn't hurt, let alone kill. Not to mention that Kakuzu and Hidan withstood attacks from the Two Tails and came out with clean clothes, as if they had taken a stroll in the park with Grandma. The same goes for Kisame, who defeated the Four Tails alone in a 1v1 and also returned without a scratch and with a brand new outfit. Or maybe he got beaten up badly and had a spare coat in his bag. That could be it. Come on, guys, Roshi was a Biju. They destroy mountains and even islands as if it were nothing. And Kasame practically drowned a guy under a sea. Kasame, who was also practically a Jinchuriki, who stole chakra and easily beat most of Naruto. And do I need to talk about Itachi, guys? I won't praise him too much because even more Itachi fanboys might show up. We have to be careful. But the truth is, he was too legendary. There's nothing to say about Itachi. He defeated Orochimaru with that 8-headed snake as if it were nothing. And that form is bigger than Manda and any other snake in the world. Whether it was genjutsu, ninjutsu, taijutsu, it didn't matter. Itachi was perfect in everything. Everything except endurance. He wouldn't last long in a fight because he lacked eating beans in his childhood, but apart from that, there was nothing to say. And of course, guys, to keep all these people under surveillance and beat them up if necessary, the leaders needed to be very tough. Even Conan, who was weaker than Pain and Obito, gathered 600 billion paper bombs and opened up a sea to kill Obito. Practically anyone, and I mean anyone, would die in that. So guys, there was no way. The Akatsuki only had the cream of the ninja world, the best of the best. They didn't care about personality, history, or whether the guy was a psychopath like Haidan. If he was a super ultra special ninja with sinister powers, he was in. Because if needed, all they had to do was call Pain, and he would go there and put the guy in line. But tell me, who's your favorite Akatsuki member? Drop your comments and I'll be reading all of them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you can receive more Naruto videos. Until the next video, guys.